Point Yacht Sales virtual boat show. Here we are with Lauren Mahoney and Grady Byus, and this afternoon we're going to be talking about the MJM 43Z, and Grady's going to have some great pointers all about the boat for us here today.
Hi, everybody, and sorry I'm a little bit late. I was trying to do this live from the boat down at the dock because we are here at our boat show at Walk the Docks at our office in Annapolis, where we have a full lineup of boats. And talking about MJMs today, we have an MJM 43Z and a 35Z. So we'd love to have you come down and see the boats in person.
Yeah, that's great. While talking about the boats, Grady, what are some of your favorite features about the 43Z?
Well, the 43Z, just to make sure everybody's clear, is the same great boat that we all know and love in the 40Z. They have updated it so that way it can receive the outboard motors if you choose an outboard package, or if you want the traditional Volvo IPS, you can get that system. Exact same boat, just a slightly different looking back end. Yep. One of the neat things about the new back end is it means we have a big swim platform. So you can quite easily fit a large dinghy on there. If you get the hydraulic platform, they can lower the dinghy into the water, but they can also act as a great swimming platform for anybody who wants to go swimming. And then I'd have to say, Jack, one of my favorite features is just the layout of the boat. It lends itself so well for an enjoyable day on the water. You can roll the side windows back. You can open the forward windows as much or as little as you like, and it gives you a very nice open air feeling. And it's an MJM. So this boat is built out of an epoxy hull with foam core, custom E-glass weaving, and it is one of the best running boats you can ever step on. So I highly encourage you, if you have an opportunity, come see us down here, but get on a boat and go for a sea trial.
Yeah, that's great. All great features of the boat. How does it compare to some other boats in its class?
That's a tough question, actually, Jack, because the boat, it's a pretty different design philosophy than many other MJMs. Sorry, I think Lauren's trying to queue up a video here, but we'll get to that in a second. And now that I've messed her up again.
We'll watch this video and then I'll ask you that right after.
That sounds great. And I'll be doing some talking through the video just so you guys can understand. Again, this is the new 43Z I, as we're calling it, to denote that it's an Volvo IPS inboard for I. And you can see how well the cockpit flows throughout the bridge deck area. So the helmsperson can easily see, and you can easily have a nice conversation with somebody in the back of the boat. S-Tech decking, so you can have your favorite red wine on board the boat. Kids and grandkids can spill potato chips and get greasy chips on the deck, and you don't have to worry about it. And then right there, you can see the front opening windows that can electrically actuate open, so you can have as much airflow or, again, as little as you like. And that's a fully conditioned space, too. So if you're on a cool day, say you're cruising up to New England, and you can enclose the space and have a little heat to take off the cool edge there. It's an entertaining bar and galley area that you can see in the cockpit. You can have an optional grill there, fridge, ice maker, wine cooler. And then you can see we have our movable chair in the back of the cockpit that allows you to really have a nice dinner in the back, or have snacks and move that chair around. One thing you'll notice in the video, but then hopefully throughout the rest of the time if you look at a boat in person, is the fit and finish and the craftsmanship is really second to none. Being built in Boston, all American build, you get just a real high-end product and real quality finish. The woodwork we'll see here shortly is all dovetail jointed. And now we're making our way into the dinette area. And this is a convertible space. So you can have that dinette convert into a second full-size berth for guests, and you have your own private area. So it really is a nice second stateroom. And then the new 43s get this large panoramic window, which is a really nice feature, a nice upgrade for owners. In the galley, over under fridge freezer, we do have an induction stovetop as well as a convection microwave oven. So make yourself your little Thanksgiving turkey on board if you like, or bake a cake. And then as we move forward, we're looking at the ensuite shower as well as the ensuite head. And that ensuite head can be accessed as a day head or ensuite to the master berth. And there we are on the port side of the ensuite head. And you can see everything's very classically finished with cherry interior. And you can have the entire space filled with cherry, or you can have it built out with some of the white finishes as you see here to make it have some contrasting temperatures. And then again, plenty of storage. It's an MJM, so you're going to see here shortly that in the bridge deck, you have lots of space. This is underneath the cabin sole. And as we carry this video outside, you can fit a fully assembled mountain bike in that space, and that's mirrored on both the port and starboard side. And center line, the hatch you're seeing there allows you to access your generator, your Seakeeper, or more storage. And there's a good-looking guy driving that boat, Jack, don't you think?
And he looks familiar.
Yeah. So thanks for bearing with me on my little live walkthrough on that. Chris Hughes actually put that video together and did a great job, but we just thought it'd be fun to have me narrate it as we were going through it here.
Yeah, and you did a great job there, you know, and you spoke about your features that you thought, you know, going back to what we were talking about, you know, before the video, how does it compare? You know, I know this is a pretty unique boat and there's not much in its class, but what makes this boat stand above the rest in its class?
Yeah, so MJMs are designed on an 80-20 principle, which is to say that the boat should be well laid out for 80% of your use or your primary use, which for most people is a couple that's going weekending or they're day boating with friends and family. So why would you carry around second and third staterooms in a 40-foot boat if you're not using them all that often? And then MJMs, they creatively convert for the other 20% of your use. So if you're cruising New England and you want to bring another couple along for a week's part of your cruise, maybe you're cruising here on the Chesapeake, then you can, as I said, turn that dinette into a separate sleeping area. They have their own privacy. So this 80-20 principle really means that you're just going to be using the boat in the way that you go boating as opposed to carrying around a bunch of extra furniture. And like I said earlier, the construction, which is very important in MJMs, being an all epoxy construction, this is an 18,500 pound boat at half load. That's not empty. That is half load. So there's not many 40-foot boats in its class that can achieve that. And that's done through a higher engineering, higher tech design, and higher tech build. And to that end, that lowers our vertical center of gravity if we want to get real technical here. But the important thing there is it makes it a more sea-kindly boat. So it has better sea-keeping characteristics. And MJM 40 is the only boat in its class, the 40 and 43, only boat in the 40-foot size range that is Category A ocean rated without any Seakeeper or gyro or fin stabilizer. So that's really saying something. I mean, the 40Z could easily cross over to Bermuda on its own bottom. You'd be going 8 to 12 knots the whole time, but it's capable of doing some really serious ocean passages.
Yeah, and talking about that epoxy, you know, lighter, stiffer build and the characteristics, what does that do about the performance for the boat?
So a 40Z today is going to be a 39 or 40 knot boat at top end speeds, which means that most owners are comfortably cruising between 32 and 35, which, as you know, Jack, I mean, here on the Chesapeake Bay, even though this is technically an inland waterway, we get some real serious, waves and some serious conditions. So it's made to run at those speeds, even in rougher conditions. I can remember a few trips going back and forth across the Potomac, delivering a 40Z down to Virginia. And you can really get into some rollers in the Potomac, and it's built for it. I mean, the boat is, with its reserve buoyancy up forward, is made so that it doesn't knife steer and bow steer, and it lifts itself up and over the water. And it's a great running boat. So I think anybody will be happy in any set of conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. You know, now that we've talked about the performance and the layout of the boat and all of that, what type of price range are we looking at for a well-equipped boat?
Most MJM 40s are going to be on the water somewhere in the $1.4 million range. Yeah. And again, that's due to the all-American build. We institute a lot of high-end equipment into the boat, like a Seakeeper gyro stabilizer, the power opening windows. They really provide a lot of value for that money, but at the end of the day, it's a high-tech build, and that's what achieves the great characteristics on the water. What makes the hull is going to last longer than you and I. I think, Jack, future generations of yacht brokers will be selling the boats that we're selling today because they're just built that well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the key thing to do is go to the plant and see how they're built. It really teaches you a lot about the boat.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Plant tours up in Boston for the 43Z and the 53Z, and then the new 3Z and 35Z down in the North Carolina facility. it's fun. I mean, it's an education for those that are into boats, and they do a wonderful, wonderful job.
I know I enjoy it every time I go up there and
learn something too.
Yeah, absolutely. Every single time. So it's awesome. So now that we've learned about the boat, now we want to reach out and figure out how we can learn more, you know, or reach out to someone and see how we can get on board one and go for a sea trial or learn more about it. What do we do? How do we go about that?
Well, Lauren was kind enough to build out a really great virtual boat show website. So we're doing all of these things virtually so we can see you in a safe manner. And I suggest you go there. There's a great video vault which can help you watch lots of these types of virtual boat shows, but then also the other videos that have been created. We have a good YouTube page that has a lot of educational videos. And then I always recommend the old school, pick up the phone or come down to the docks and see us, especially this weekend. We're here by appointment with a 35Z and a 43Z. There's our northpointvirtual.com, our virtual boat show. And, you know, these are the boats that you don't just read about in a brochure. You need to meet with somebody who knows about them, take some time to go walk through the boats and go for a sea trial, a couple of sea trials. And again, like you said earlier, Jack, the factory is a great place to be able to go learn about these boats.
It really is. It really is. And, you know, stop by our website, sign up for our Walk the Docks event, come down and see the 35Z tomorrow and the 35 or the 43Z all weekend. It's
wonderful.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, again, thank you for joining us, Grady. Lauren, thank you for putting all this together, and look forward to seeing some of you people on the MJMs.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys.